Hey guys, thanks for getting this lead magnet. I'm excited to share with you how you can create a winning Facebook ad in less than 5 minutes or 5 minutes or less. um, just before we get started, I want you to know that it is possible, to really get your Facebook ads to work. I know for a very long time, for me, I was getting really frustrated or just kind of like I couldn't believe the amount of money that I was spending on ads just to try and get more clicks or just to try to get more conversions, right? Well, I'm about to tell you something that's going to probably change everything you do. In fact, it'll probably change how you run ads from here on out. And it's because it takes a very practical, systematic approach in order to create winning Facebook ads really quickly that will resonate with your audience and sell, or whatever the call to action is, whatever your objective is, and really accomplish the objective you set out for your ads. Okay, so let's get started. Before we begin, one of the things you have to understand is that there is an ad creation process. Don't go nuts with Facebook. Don't, everyone think there's like some sort of secret silver bullet that's going to be able to, just make my ads like some tactic or strategy or something that's going to make everything just work right. But the truth about it is that Facebook ads as a platform, just think about this, okay? Facebook ads itself, it's a social network, but it's more than just that. It is a project for tons and tons of developers, people with logical, brains, people who deal with code day in, day out. These guys created this social network, but it has a ton of different variables and like program languages and all that stuff all in it, right? And the reason I'm telling you this is because these people created the Facebook ads platform to basically follow a logical process. Now they're just adding features or benefits or like things that they might be able to add in order to get more money, probably. Things like different features or different ways that you can use traffic, etc. Right? So there's like things like the landing page view as opposed to just a click campaign, right? So the more objectives that they come up with and the more things that we're looking for in our ads, the more they can probably make in the long run. And so these guys are just logically trying to create ways to either make it more difficult for you or get it to the point where they make a ton more money, right? Facebook. But if you follow a simple process that I'm about to explain to you momentarily, you're going to get to a point where it doesn't matter whether they give or take away features. It doesn't matter if they all of a sudden, like the recent news, that they won't show you estimated audience numbers for reach for your custom audiences. Like that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, marketing is very simple. You have traffic and you have an offer. That's it. That at the end of the day, that's all it ever has been, right? And what you do to link the traffic to that offer is where this process lies, right? What do I need to do so that I can consistently and effectively run ads to my offer so that it converts? Now, this process we're about to go through right now is going to cover the process between the traffic and the product, right? That this doesn't mean that ads can sell a crappy product or that it can sell a crappy offer. You still have to understand that there's an important part in all this, and that is that you have to, one, we're going to work on the traffic side of it, but the offer side of it, you're going to have to come up with an effective, powerful offer that's going to convince people, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're speaking my language, whether I know what you're talking about, but if you sell me an hour of your time to ask you 10 questions for $1 million, that's a tough sell, right? I'm not just talking about pricing. There's just other aspects of an offer that are very important. But in this particular presentation, in this particular talk, I want to talk about the process for creating ads that you know will resonate with your audience so that they click and are presented with your offer. Cool? All right, so here's the process. I call it the Agile Framework plus Facebook ads. I'm going to come up with something probably a little better in the future, some sort of like loop-de-loop formula or something for creating winning ads. But for right now, let's just talk about what it really is, right? At the very foundation of it, it's me taking a framework that already exists out there for people who are developers. You already know what this is all about, right? The Agile framework starts here at a point at the first box to the left where you're trying something new. You've developed something and you're about to get it to run, right? As it's running, you're making small tweaks to it and small tweaks to the tweaks so that eventually as it comes right back to the foundational movement, you're getting closer and closer to your desired end result with your platform or with your ads in this particular case. Okay, so it's very simple methodology. It's just taking the Agile framework, thinking about, okay, ads is never about just starting with the winning copy, starting with the winning image, starting with the winning headline. It's never about that. You don't need to be a great copywriter. You don't need to be the world's greatest photographer to come up with the best image to use on an ad. In fact, we see this over and over again in the development stage, like the web development industry, right? They create beautiful, beautiful websites that cost tons and tons of money, but then those websites don't convert, right? How many people have heard about that? Isn't that the case? They create wonderful websites. All of a sudden, they go live with the website, they're running traffic, but they don't convert those visitors into customers. What's the problem? The problem is that they're not giving themselves time and space really to continually adapt the website to the audience. Well, the beauty about Facebook ads is that we can use that methodology and use the Facebook ads power editor to continually test for the best message that'll resonate with our exact customer to get them to our offer. Okay? You don't have a product that sells if you don't know how to attract a customer. And so people try to go out there to hire the world's best copywriter for thousands of dollars, but why do that? Facebook is the great place to test all of those things. We'll talk about this a bit further. But before we do, let's talk about the two ways to test ads on Facebook. You can test ads to get the message that resonates with your audience, right? So in other words, there are things that we can test for, and we'll talk about that in the next slide, things that you can test in your ad to try to over time figure out what's going to resonate with them so that you can get them to click towards your website and then present them with your offer. Okay, that's one way to do it. The second way to test things in order to create a winning ad or winning ad campaigns in general is to survey your audience to come up with the lexicon, then create ads using their language. What I mean here is that when you can survey a very small portion of an audience that you're targeting, you can then create your ads using their language. In fact, in a lot of cases, it makes sense to survey them first, look at what they're saying, how they're saying it, what they're saying, and then using all of those words, their own language, your audience's language, to then create tests for your actual ad, right? That's probably the easiest way, and that's not the easiest way. It's a little longer it saves you money definitely because you're surveying your audience as opposed to trying to test out different ads, spending money on different ads that may or may not work until you figure one that works, right? So that's kind of a route that you can go. So these are the two ways that I would highly recommend that you start thinking about ads when you're first starting off. Do I want to figure out the message and how it resonates by using Facebook ads to test? Or two, do I survey my audience of buyers or survey of, I don't know, if you have a list of buyers, you can survey them to get their exact language, or a list of prospects to get their exact language. Like, for instance, if you got to this presentation and I sent you an email or a bot request to fill out a survey, and which you might see that, just so that I can perfect this lead magnet getting into the hands of people who actually need it and who it will help. I'm going to send you a survey. You're going to you're going to answer the things the way that you would normally answer anything, but I'm going to get the language that's going to help me build an ad for this, right? That's the point of the surveying audience technique. Now, before we get started on kind of going through a show, like an actual show and tell of getting started, let me tell you the 6 variables that you can test on Facebook. You can test the headline. So there's a headline right below your image that you can test, and there's a particular way that I test for that. There's the image that you can test, the text above the image, right, which can be short or long, the description for the sort of the caption area of the image, the display link, although that's not necessarily like test worthy, but I will tell you something that's a secret there that's going to make things a lot better for you in terms of click-through ratio. And then there's the button, right? The learn more, buy here, shop now. That they have call to action buttons that you can add to your Facebook ad. Okay, so let's get started by showing you the show and tell on headline and image testing, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so that's pretty much how you would run your entire process, at least to get started, testing on a headline and image that resonates with your audience to get the clicks. The beauty of this, by the way, is that as you're testing, you're still driving traffic to people who might be interested in what you have to offer. So in the process of testing, you can still get conversions. You can still get subscribers to your list or get people to buy your offer. You're kind of making money while you test. That's the beauty of realizing how to test and then testing and then knowing that you're getting paid to test. All right. The more clicks that you can get at a cheaper cost, as we showed you, the better for you, right? Because you can literally reduce the amount of money you're going to spend for the lifetime of your campaign. All right. So the next step, the survey ad. Remember how I told you that you can basically survey an audience that might be interested in your offer, or they are already because they purchased it or are about to purchase with some sort of sell that you have coming up or something. You can always survey them to get the exact words and the exact phrases, the exact language that's going to get these folks to buy, that's going to get these folks to convert, whatever your objective is. All right, so let me go over that right now. Okay, so you now saw how you can use surveys, right, to get people into your funnel or into your lead magnet or on your website to convert. The ideal situation here, guys, is that you use the language, as I mentioned, basically to convert folks into paid customers or prospects, all the while you're testing, like you're using this in order to create your winning Facebook ad. Okay, you're going to use their language, but in the meanwhile, you're collecting clicks, right? People who are actually landing on your website that you're pixelating, and then hopefully retargeting them with your offer eventually. That's one thing we hadn't really gone into, but you can always retarget them with an ad based on the survey results. Imagine that. So someone sees your ad, they click on it, they land on your website, you pixel them, they maybe don't get the lead magnet or don't get the offer, but then they go through their Facebook feed and they see an ad that specifically talks to them based on the language that they use to fill out a survey. You can use this to make money while you're surveying people, while you're getting the language that's going to work with them and resonate with them in order to reach your objective. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you get to the point. It reminds me of the tale of like how to become a millionaire overnight. It never takes one night. It takes years, not years, but in this particular case, it might take a couple of weeks of just testing and learning kind of the way that I showed you in order to get really good at creating Facebook ads that win. Okay. And just remember, at the end of all this, if there's one thing that I want you to get out of it, is to remember this. You're just one test away. Yeah, some of you guys that are ClickFunnels fans, you're going to be like, oh my God, another guy that uses that. But to be quite honest with you, you have seen this actually work. Some of you have probably created funnels and not had a successful one. Well, in this particular case, you're going to see the progress as you go. So there's no better saying at any better time for Facebook advertising in your learning experience than you're just one test away, because you're going to get results right away. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please send me a message, personally in the group. I'm excited to see how you see results with this, how you implement it. Please let me know what wins you've had. Gosh, even if you do get a win with your tests, please post them in the group. I'd love to see what you're doing. All right, take care, guys. Have a good one, and God bless.